You walk into a room, and within 30 seconds you've already clocked the tension between two people who haven't spoken. You notice the way someone's smile drops the moment they turn away, the slight hesitation before a laugh, the text notification someone reads and deliberately ignores. You catch the micro-expressions, the shifts in tone, the things people think they're hiding. And you say absolutely nothing. Not because you're shy, you can hold a conversation, you can be charming when you need to. This is something else. You're not antisocial, you're not cold, you're running a level of observation that most people don't even know exists. There are 5 psychological reasons why some people notice everything but stay silent, and the last one, even psychologists didn't see it coming. But first, you're the one who knows a friendship is ending before either person does. You're the one who sensed the breakup 3 months before the announcement. You notice when someone starts distancing themselves and you just let it happen, because you already know. If any of that made your chest tighten, we need to talk. Let's start with the one that runs deepest. You're 7, maybe 8. The house is quiet, but not the peaceful kind. The quiet that has weight. You learn to read the air before anyone speaks. The way a cabinet closes, the rhythm of footsteps, the pause before your name gets called. You become a student of mood, not by choice, by necessity. John Bowlby, the researcher who pioneered attachment theory, found that children in unpredictable environments develop what he called hyper-vigilant attachment. The brain learns to scan constantly for danger, for shifts, for anything that might signal what's coming next. Here's what that actually means. Your nervous system was trained to treat information as survival data. You didn't choose to notice everything. You were taught by an environment that punished you for missing cues. The kid who didn't catch the shift in a parent's tone got blindsided, so you stopped getting blindsided. You got ahead of it. And now, decades later, you walk into a dinner party and your brain automatically maps every dynamic in the room. Who's performing? Who's uncomfortable? Who's about to leave early? You're not paranoid, you're pattern trained. And that awareness, it doesn't just sit there quietly, it accumulates. Here's the thing nobody talks about. You don't just notice everything, you also have to pretend you don't. You smile at the passive-aggressive comment and act like you missed it. You let someone lie to your face because calling it out would cost more than staying silent. You answer, "How are you?" for the 14th time like it's a real question. This has a name. Psychologists call it surface acting, the emotional labor of displaying feelings you don't actually feel, the energy it takes to suppress what you see while performing what's expected. This connects back to what Bowlby found. When your childhood teaches you that noticing things makes you inconvenient, you learn to hide your awareness. You become skilled at appearing oblivious while being anything but. The cost? You leave every interaction a little more drained than you arrived. Your shoulders ache, your jaw is tight. You get home and need an hour alone just to feel like yourself again. And nobody in that room knows what it costs you. But here's what the research actually says. Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA spent years studying social pain using brain imaging. She found that social exclusion activates the same neural pathways as physical injury, specifically the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex and the anterior insula, the same regions that light up when you stub your toe. Your brain literally cannot tell the difference between being dismissed and being struck. So when you notice everything, when you catch the subtle rejection, the eye roll someone thought you missed, the way you got talked over, your nervous system registers that as damage. You're not being dramatic, you're not oversensitive, you're experiencing cumulative micro-injuries that most people don't even perceive. And here's the part that makes it worse. You can't unsee any of it. You can't unfeel the room. The radar doesn't have an off switch. So the pain isn't just from what happens to you, it's from witnessing what happens around you, constantly. Here's something people rarely think about. If a stranger demanded to know why you're so quiet, you'd think they were rude. But when family does it, when someone corners you at a gathering and says, "Why don't you ever share anything?" suddenly that's concern. That's love. The system resists your silence because your silence disrupts it. When you don't perform, when you don't offer up your observations on command, people get uncomfortable. They want access. Murray Bowen, who developed family systems theory, described something called differentiation of self, the ability to maintain your own emotional boundaries while staying connected to others. People with high differentiation can observe without being consumed. But the irony is, the same awareness that makes you excellent at reading people also makes you a target for people who want to be read, who want your attention, your insight, your validation. Protecting your silence isn't coldness, It's a skill you were never taught to value. I want to be careful here because this next part isn't comfortable. There's a difference between strategic silence and avoidant silence. Strategic silence is a choice. You notice, you assess, and you decide that speaking isn't worth the cost. You're conserving energy, you're protecting clarity, you're choosing when and where to spend your words. Avoidant silence is a cage. You notice, you want to speak, but something locks your throat. Fear of conflict, fear of being wrong, fear of what happens if you actually let someone know you. Both look identical from the outside. Someone not speaking, someone watching, someone seeming distant. But they feel completely different on the inside. One is power, the other is paralysis. And here's the question that changes everything. Are you choosing silence, or is silence choosing you? Only you know which one it is. But the fact that you're sitting with that question right now, that already says something. So what do you actually do with all of this? You don't have to fix anything. You don't even have to fix anything. But here's a simple framework. 2 questions. First, did I choose not to speak, or did I lose the ability to? Ask this after conversations, not to judge yourself, just to notice. Awareness is the first fracture in the pattern. Second, what would I say if safety wasn't a factor? You don't have to say it, but knowing it exists, knowing your voice has content, that matters. Someone left a comment once that stuck with me. They said, "I realized I wasn't quiet because I had nothing to say. I was quiet because I'd been trained to believe no one wanted to hear it." And for the first time, they started writing things down, just for themselves, just to prove the words existed. And when someone hits you with, "You're so hard to read," you can say, "I'm not hard to read. I'm just selective about who gets the full version." If this describes something you've never been able to name, leave a comment with the age you first remember becoming the one who watches. I want to know. If you want more videos that explain why you are the way you are without telling you to change, subscribe. This is what we do here. And if this video made you feel less alone in your silence, tap like so others can find it too. Your silence was never emptiness. It was everything you chose not to waste on people who wouldn't understand.